Merry Christmas! Happy holidays, everyone. Welcome back to Ways to Love Your Money. We have a great show here for you. You've seen him before, Mr. Jonathan Olow, our resident real estate expert. We just love him and adore him. I can't wait for him to show you what he is going to do. Oh my gosh, don't miss this show. So we want to also kick off. This is the final show of season 4. We're going into season 5. It'll come out in January. So for the new year, new look, new everything. So stay tuned for that, and stay tuned right now for Mr. Jonathan Olow. Welcome back to Ways to Love Your Money. I'm Elizabeth Dawson, and I have Jonathan Olow, our real estate expert, and he is going to talk to us a little bit about some trends that are happening. And we're really just saying goodbye to 2020. We all are really excited about that. But again, we're thankful that Jonathan's here. Thank you so much for being here, Jonathan. It's always a pleasure. I love how nice and sunny it is by you, and you look great. So how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Safe, I'm healthy, still working. And you had mentioned there are quite a few changes that are going on in the real estate industry. As
Sure.
we know, we were severely impacted earlier in the year at the
Right.
beginning of this pandemic. We'll just say maybe in, like March, where, there's all the uncertainty, and our business was shut down for a period of time,
Right.
which was crazy
Right.
because real estate drives the finances. And I think somebody finally realized, oh, we need to keep this market moving because the whole economy is going to stall if it doesn't. So it was a little slow for a couple months. I think a lot of buyers and sellers got nervous, didn't know what things are going. But as we started to educate them on what was going on, the market, especially San Diego and Southern California, is still booming.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is we don't have a lot of inventory, and there are people that are moving to different parts of the state and the country. So it is starting to open up some inventory. Some people in Palm Springs, we're getting a lot of people that are coming in from San Diego, from LA, San Francisco, because if they're living in the city in a high rise, especially, they're tired of that, and they're like, if
Right.
I'm going to pay $3,000 a month, why don't I buy a condo or a house, out in the valley, a Coachella
Mm-hmm.
Valley, Palm Springs, and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So, but San Diego market is doing quite well. It's kind of wacky. It's
Yeah.
interesting. We're going through this pandemic, a global issue, and the market still chugs along. And I think because we do have those low interest rates,
Right. Right.
people are still trying to take advantage of that. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's still some loans out there that are depends on who you are and your credit and everything, but 2.5%,
Right.
2.75%,
We've
which
never
is
had this in our
crazy.
history. We've never had these low interest rates in our history. And I know
And
earlier in the year I had said to you too, going through a total shutdown, which we're supposed to be in a total shutdown right now, but we're, kind of still being able to move around more than we were before. But that total shutdown and the uncertainty, people were really interested in where they were living, and maybe the condo downtown or the smaller little property wasn't what they were enjoying, 24/7 every day. So has that been your experience with your clients?
the change in this market for myself and my clients really hasn't changed, because I have them do their homework, they get pre-qualified, and they're what we call action ready. They're ready to go. So my job is to sell that to the listing agent when we're putting
Mm-hmm.
in offers. And we do have we're into the multiple offer world
Sure,
again.
sure.
Is it a seller's market? Basically, yes, but it's a buyer's market as well if you are going to be ready and be committed. And this is going to be I'm not going to say even a trend, but into the future, that hopefully this sticks in our market to say anybody that goes into a property, really, you should be qualifying them. And again, I've been doing that for years,
Sure.
and that's what we've been successful in getting, both our clients,
Mm-hmm.
people that you introduced to me, and vice versa,
Right.
reach their goals.
Well, and here's another interesting kind of conversation about this is that I think there's probably a lot of people on the fence about putting their house on the market. But what would you say, because we don't know how long this trend is going to go for?
Um, again, is for me to find out what is really motivating them. And it might not be. If we find out that, after I ask them these thought provoking questions, if they're not ready, then we say, you're not ready. I mean, you'll be able to sell your house. Again, it's all about pricing. But if you're going to go on now, I mean, I have people saying, well, maybe I'll wait till September. And it's just like, I don't have a crystal ball.
Right.
I don't see the rates for getting a loan going up dramatically. So with the change of the administration in the nation here, I don't foresee that there's going to be any change in the real estate market. There are people out there that are on the fence, as you were saying, that
Sure.
should I buy, should I sell, and really with that consultation that I give them, we'll figure that out, and it
Right.
might not be the right time to buy or sell or
Right.
refi,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they go to people like me and you to get that education rather than jumping into the pool and then figuring out, oh
Yeah.
gosh, I made a big mistake.
Sure, sure. I think we're in an environment today that we just don't know the uncertainty. People ask us to look at this crystal ball all the time to say what's going to happen with real estate, what's going to happen with the stock market. Right now, things are thriving, and we're in a pandemic world where there's quite a few people that have lost their jobs and lost them permanently, and they're trying to figure out where do I go to figure this piece of my life out. So I think that confidence of low interest rates. James Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, he has said that these low interest rates should stay through 2023. It can change overnight, but they say to continue to stimulate the economy that they want to do this. So I know that brings us to another topic, which is inflation. So we are starting to see, Jonathan, we're starting to see these property values inflate. What are you seeing, like this growth in value of properties for sale, since it is such a seller's market? How drastically have real estate prices changed in the last 6 months from last year?
Yeah, I would say in the last 6 months, even in the last 3 months, again with lowering inventory,
Mm-hmm.
that's what drives the economy, supply and demand. It's all the basic economics,
Mm-hmm.
and the issue is the property going to appraise? So yeah, somebody could go in. We have somebody right now that's put in an offer the other day on a property. We know they're going to have 4 or 5 offers. And it was listed a little bit lower, but their goal is that they're going to get a handful of people. But if the property's listed at 750 and somebody offers 825, there's no guarantee it's going to appraise.
Sure.
But again, you're going to look at that situation. Are they putting 50% down? Then if they are, then it probably won't be an issue. So
Yeah.
but I always encourage my clients. They're like, oh, this is such a great property, and that there's going to be so many offers. And I said, but think about it. If you're thinking that, so many other people are thinking that, and they might not go fishing. So let's go fishing. And if you don't throw the line out there, you never know, because you
Sure.
might be the only one going fishing because you're not scared to put your toe in the water.
Right, right. No, that's great. I mean, there's been so many lifestyle changes, business challenges, things like this. What challenges have you faced since the pandemic?
What challenges? I think at the beginning it was most of the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've been doing video for almost 12, 14 years,
Yeah.
that wasn't an issue. But I would say for the traditional real estate people that are out there, their biggest transition was Zoom and
Sure.
getting on to meet with clients, working remotely, not going into an office. And I've been working on my own independently for 15, 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
25 years almost. So for me, that it wasn't a disruption. It was the
That's great.
same thing,
That's
just
great.
maybe some paperwork had to get done. But
Sure.
for most people, it shut them down because they were unwilling to make the change, and then they realized, oh, this is not going away.
Mm-hmm.
So they were forced to move into the future. And
Right.
it really wasn't the future; it's current day.
Mm-hmm.
That they should have been embracing these things. But for me, I work in San Diego and I work in Palm Springs, and regardless where I am, I've been doing this for 15 years, and it really is having your team in place because you can't physically be everywhere at
Sure.
one time.
Sure.
So I've been able to refine that business plan
Yeah.
to have boots on the ground where we need them, and have the brain where it needs to be, which is, on your phone or on the computer, and making those connections. And it's still all about the relationship. There's
Mm-hmm.
so many people that will not get on the phone and have a conversation.
Right.
And they all want to do it by text or email, but
Mm-hmm.
I get on the phone and I still continue to personalize it, because people still need that, especially
Oh, I
now
agree.
that they've been, secluded.
Oh, I agree. I think that personal human connection is so important. And I think that's what you do so well. That's what I do so well. And we do miss being able to see everybody. And, we would love to have you sitting right here next to me. But we know for the safety of you and safety of our team here that it's really important that we do it like this. But we don't want to stop the momentum, because the momentum is the exciting part. And I know
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say that's been the most, if you ask me about the challenge, that's been the biggest challenge,
Sure.
because I have client events a couple times a year, and that's where we
Likewise.
get to reconvene. And I mean, even just a hug or a
I
handshake,
know. So hard.
just would be great. And then,
We're
we
such
know that
touchy
we get
feely
that.
people. We want to hug, we want to embrace, we want to give someone a kiss on the cheek. We want to do those things. So, yes, mental health is definitely much on awareness. We're going to have a kickoff in January and February about mental health, basically goals for 2021. What do we want to do? In the past, it used to be, gosh, around the holidays, it's not the best time to put your house on the market. But, what are you telling clients now?
Excuse me.
No problem.
We'll go back to that question. Is just like if a seller is ready,
Yeah.
is talking about selling. I mean, there's no time but the present, because you can't see what's going to happen 2 months from now.
Right.
So if you've been thinking about it, put it on the market. I mean, one of my guarantees is, let's get it on the market. If it doesn't do anything in 2 weeks, of course you have to price it accordingly.
Right.
You can't say, hey, I want $200,000 more for my house, and if you
Right.
don't, you can't sell it, then we'll take it off. But
Right.
price it appropriately, but we'll also make sure that if you're going to go buy another property, that we have that plan in place, because the last thing you want is more stress by going, oh, now I'm going to be in a seller's market. Ooh, I love it. But now I'm going to be in the buyer's market, which, ooh, so
Yeah.
those are things that we can do to kind of pre-plan,
Right.
and maybe even find properties that aren't on the market yet. And those relationships that we have with other agents saying, hey, I have somebody that's going to be looking in about a month and a half. Is that house going to become available? So we use those resources ahead of time, so we can hopefully secure you before you make that big move.
I think that that's fabulous, because, that's what people are looking for. The biggest fear that I have found with people that are asking me, should I sell my house? Well, what am I going to buy? And maybe what I want to buy isn't necessarily the most amazing thing. But I think for the time to communicate, the relationship, to build the relationship. So, Jonathan, how can people get in touch with you? I know we let them know who you are and all that, but how can people get in touch with you?
Well, they can actually pick up the phone if they want to. I'll give you that. They can call me at 619-823-9900, or they can email me if they want at jonathan@jonathanolow.com, and that's JONATHAN, and last name Olow, OLOW. Or just Google me, you'll find me, or reach out to Elizabeth and her team. We all work together, helping our clients achieve their goals and their dreams.
Well, Jonathan, again, thank you so much for being on the show. We always love having you here. This is a kickoff to the holiday season, and we're going to just end it with a bang. And we're just so we're so honored to have you in our lives. We love you dearly. I know our clients do too. So what I want to say right now is stay tuned. We'll be right back in just a moment. We'll finish up the show. But again, if you want to get in touch with Jonathan, if you didn't get that information, we'll have it posted down below. And if not, call our office at 619-640-2622, and we'll make sure you get in touch. All right, take care. Don't second guess it. Don't overthink it. But just maybe get that conversation started and build the relationship. I think that's the key out of this conversation. So again, we'll be right back. Stay tuned. Well, we're back, and it's real quick. Jonathan wanted to give us another opportunity to talk to him about, go ahead, Jonathan, you were saying something about taking a plunge.
So if you are thinking about taking the plunge into the market, whether you're going to buy or sell, this is the way to do it. You don't think. What you do is you pick up the phone and you call 619-823-9900, and then you do this. You take action. Ready?
my gosh. Oh my gosh. That's amazing. Right here, live on the show, Jonathan has actually taken the plunge and jumped in the pool. We love you too, Jonathan. All right.
Okay.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my gosh, can you believe that Jonathan jumped in the pool to take the plunge? Well, not necessarily the polar bear plunge, but the plunge to be able to get into making the decisions and taking action about real estate. Well, we're here at the end of the year. And we do have an audience question, which I think is so appropriate for this. And Rachel, would you mind telling us what the audience question is?
What are some tips you have for end-of-year financial planning?
Well, it's the end of the year. So I'm hoping you get this information before the end of the year. What's important is fourth quarter review with your tax professional and your financial advisor. You want to make sure you're on the same page, because right now, if you want to have anything as a positive effect for 2020, you can't do it in January of 2021. So now is the time to really look at all your finances, look at all of your assets, look at all the decisions that you're making, whether to sell or not, and see what are the ramifications of doing so. So you're not surprised when you go to do your taxes before April 15th. You don't necessarily need to do an extension if you're not prepared. So I encourage you to do that fourth quarter review with your tax professional and financial advisor. And in addition, I encourage you to do a fourth quarter review with your financial advisor. This is so important. There could be things that could be sold to, offset gains and losses. There's so many different opportunities that you have. And I know that you're busy into the holiday spirit, and it's a different year than any other year in the past. But now you are so important to start out 2021 with a bang. You want to make sure that everything is put together and you put the anxiety away. Number one, New Year's resolution every year is to get your finances in order and get out of debt. So if that's the case, let's not create more debt before the end of the year, so we have to get out of it. Let's make sure we're having a better relationship with money. Again, Ways to Love Your Money, a money show. It's all about having a better relationship with money. All right. I hope that you have a great, great holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy everything. And I hope that you, just really, truly enjoy the precious time with your family. Even if it's a Zoom call, even if it's something that's just FaceTime, something like that, that you get that family connection. Stay healthy, stay safe. And again, Happy New Year, and for so much better things to come in the new year. Take care. Be back next year. The information provided in this show is for informational and educational purposes only. This show is not investment advice, nor is it intended to address the financial needs of any particular viewer. The opinions expressed on this show are not intended to be an endorsement of any particular investment strategy or service of any other kind. You must make an independent decision regarding investments or strategies mentioned throughout the show. Before acting on information in this show, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular situation and strongly consider seeking advice from a financial advisor.